When we intend to teach a technique, the opponent must attack us. This attack can be of the grabbing type, which includes grabbing one or two hands, grabbing the collar, etc., and after that, other consecutive attacks like punches, headbutts, or kicks. Note that attacks with cold weapons and their defenses are different. The most important issue in a discussion of confrontation or technique execution is maintaining a safe distance, which allows you to react and execute your technique. If we are positioned too close to the opponent, defending becomes very difficult, and in some cases, we might not even be able to defend. Therefore, when the opponent approaches you, the best reaction is to maintain a safe distance by changing direction, using foot movements, or even fleeing. This allows us to assess the situation and determine whether the opponent intends to harm us or merely scare us, and then respond appropriately. Note that initially, for teaching techniques, there must be coordination between the two people. For example, we determine that the type of strike will be a direct punch to the face. Then the opponent, in the kata stance, delivers the strike, providing us the opportunity to practice the technique. At higher levels, and after many years of consistent practice, we no longer specify the type of strikes and also increase their speed. Naturally, the speed of movement and technique execution also increases. In the initial stages of practice, students typically execute techniques with their stronger hand, whether they are left or right hand, which is corrected through consistent training. Often, in street confrontations, punches are used, and these punches are usually circular and amateurish. Note that a martial artist generally does not get involved in a confrontation because they know their strikes can be very damaging and have legal repercussions. Therefore, most attacks are amateurish, and we do not see professional attacks. Naturally, controlling amateur attacks is much easier. For example, if we simply raise our hands and protect our face, we are 100% saved from receiving the strike. In the next steps, we apply a technique to the opponent. Thus, initially in club training, we defend ourselves in this way, enter the confrontation space, try to overcome our fear, and prepare the space to execute the technique. Once we have consistently practiced, our defense method changes, and the opponent gets hit with a technique as soon as they start the attack. In club training, we perform techniques with control or by throwing the opponent. But in street confrontations, techniques are accompanied by heavy strikes, which certainly cause severe damage to the opponent. We review the movement again in a calm state. After that, at higher stages, we use various movements to evade the attack force while defending and executing the technique. Now, as an exercise, after the opponent's consecutive punches, we perform the kaiten movement and execute the kotegishi technique. If we want to execute the incoming strike more powerfully and quickly, naturally, our technique execution also becomes faster and more advanced. In this case, the technique can even be executed without using the kaiten movement and on the opposite hand. Therefore, note that to achieve skill, we must start with a single calm and controlled strike, execute our techniques with their then execute the technique against consecutive controlled strikes. And at advanced stages, use stronger strikes and execute the technique much more powerfully.